Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Jeremy Jeffcoat. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us, and thank you for being with us each and every day. Spending your lunch hour with us. We'll take you up to 1 o'clock. A lot to talk about. Keith Reese had some comments, of course, about the Ole Miss game and turning our attention to Mississippi State this Saturday, 2:30 in Jordan-Hare Stadium. So we'll talk about some of the things that he had to say. We'll kind of bounce around, open up our view a little bit of the SEC, what went on this past week as well. Some interesting game coming up this weekend. Don't call it the cocktail party. Georgia and Florida in Jacksonville. So we have a World Series, the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. So that one will get kicked off on Friday. As always, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind. 256-234-6221. You could also dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page. That's Sports with a Z. And comment away. Again, thank you so much for being with us. JJ, how you doing today?
I'm quite well. I'm hanging in there, doing all right.
That's good. That's good. You had a busy weekend, obviously.
I did.
I don't know how much football you actually got to see Saturday.
Didn't get to see much of anything.
Right.
Our youngest child got married Saturday, so we were at the wedding all day. I kept up with things.
Right.
But I didn't get to see much of anything.
Yeah. All right, well, let's
but I kept up with it. I'm good.
Auburn had a competitive game with Ole Miss. They end up falling 28-21. It's kind of a common theme of what has happened in the SEC. Auburn's defense has played fairly well. They have kept Auburn in the game, but eventually they run out of gas. They, falter down the stretch in the second half, and the offense, just gives them nothing to be excited about. And Auburn loses by 7, 28-21.
I think there's a stat that is almost 100% explanatory on Auburn's lack of offense and lack of ability to score.
Okay.
And that stat is yards after catch.
Right.
The good old yak, right? It's one thing to catch the football. It's another thing to make a play once you have the ball in your hand. And Auburn just lacks playmakers on the outside. And the stat is this. After this past weekend, Auburn now has, I believe it's like 430 yards of after-the-catch yards, right?
Right.
Yak, as they call it.
That's in 7 games.
That's in 7 games. It's good for 126th in the country.
I don't know if there's a lot more teams than 126.
There's not a lot more teams than 126. So, look, and not picking on the kids. I'm sure they're wonderful kids, and and some of them are good receivers. But there's nobody that is explosive with the football after the catch. Nobody. Yeah. And when you're 126 in the country in yards, just to give you an example, Georgia was number 1 in the SEC in yards after the catch, and it's about 1,600.
And about, I think, 500 of that came against Auburn.
Yeah. So if you can't throw those little wide receiver screens and pick up an 8 or 10-yard first down, if you can't throw it out in the flat and have the receiver make somebody miss, turn it into a 20-yard game once in a while, right? And I think that explains why Auburn is so heavily recruiting on the 2 big in-state receivers they've currently got committed, and they're even like hitting Ryan Williams as hard as they can right now.
Yeah.
Because It's the biggest need on that offense, even more so than quarterback. The biggest need is explosive playmakers on the outside.
Well, that explosive plays, that's one that we always talk about. You need, 5 or 6 of those explosive plays. That's 20-plus yards.
Yep.
A play. You needed those a game to win in these very competitive, and that's the difference between a close game, winning and losing.
Yeah, you're not going to do it with 20-yard in routes, right? I mean,
No.
you're going to throw interceptions when you start doing that. You've got to have some plays where you complete a 4-yard pass and it turns into a 24-yard pass, right?
Absolutely. And we keep talking about the Jimmies and the Joes in the roster, and that's kind of what we're talking about here. There's only so much you can do to scheme up. You can scheme up to get a guy open, but what he does after that, breaking the tackle, like you said, being able to get down the field and make a big play out of it or a touchdown, turn it into a touchdown, that's on the receiver themselves. All right, so let's look at this a little bit here. Coach Hugh Freeze, press conference this week on Auburn fans. He said, quote, "I know they've endured some disappointing years, and they're in the growing process with us right now." Says he can't say enough about the support from the crowd against Ole Miss. It was a great crowd. I was there. Very, every crowd, every home crowd has been tremendous. I'm sure that Saturday will be a great crowd as well. I mean, being a 2:30 game, I don't know, against Mississippi State, you wouldn't expect it to be as lively as, say, a Georgia game or even a night game against Ole Miss, but I have no doubt the crowd will be there. Auburn has endured some disappointing years here over the last 2 or 3 years. So the fact that they continue to come out and support, that says a lot about them. So that's certainly they need to feel good about themselves. Talking about the Ole Miss game, the first thing Freeze said was about the negative plays. Auburn had, I think, 9 tackles for loss. In this game, they had 15 tackles for loss allowed against Texas A&M. So this is a big problem when you have an offense that is sputtering, and that's being generous to say it's sputtering.
Right.
Being 2nd and 12, that is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And that's basically what you've seen.
Well, and, you always hear analysts on television, everything, they talk about staying on schedule, right? Mm-hmm. On that schedule, you would like to get 3 to 5 yards on first down, right?
That'd be nice.
You would like to get 3 to 5 yards on second down. Maybe you pick up a first down and you're sitting at 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. Your whole offense is open to you at that point. But like you said, when it goes 2nd and 12, and then 3rd and 9, that's not on schedule.
No, that's not good.
And it makes it very tough to pick those first downs up.
Said there were a few explosive plays for the Rebels, but the defense played well for the most part. I would agree with that. Really, what haunts us is the lack of third down production. Says Auburn has to convert better on offense when the defense is playing so well. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, but converting third downs, like you said, if 3rd and 3s versus 3rd and 9s, that's a different story. I mean, that's why you convert a lot of third downs or you don't. Is a situation like that. Will Freeze continue the rotation at quarterback? Quote, "Whatever our offensive staff convinces me is the best plan to win." All right, JJ, I want you to play devil's advocate here because I know you don't believe in this, but please, can you tell me? Now, I would argue and say that rotating quarterbacks every other possession, or even throughout the game, however you want to do it, has never been a winning strategy or winning formula ever in any sport
for anyone
on
but,
any planet,
for anyone but Steve Spurrier.
And even he struggled with it. I mean, even he didn't win big championships with it until he decided on one guy. But can you tell me at any point why that would make sense?
When it's especially true when the strength of your offense, in terms of what plays are good, what plays are not, right? when the strength of your offense changes so drastically dependent on the quarterback in the game. It is a different offense when Robbie Ashford is in there. It's different in what works and what doesn't, right? And it's so, look, I told you from the spring forward that I thought Robbie Ashford was the best opportunity to win. I still think Robbie Ashford, I know he's going to make some mistakes. I know he's going to carry a loose one and fumble one away. I know he's going to throw one to a defensive back here and there. But I still think, and I would compare it somewhat to the Jalen Milroe situation in Alabama. I still think he's the guy that gives you the best chance to win because he has the ability to hit some explosive plays.
Right.
And I don't think he's improving in this rotation at the rate that he could improve if given the opportunity to be the every down quarterback. But I mean that's Hugh Freeze's decision. It's not mine.
I don't know. It's just that's the one thing that James called in earlier this week, and talking about what are some of your concerns. That's one of my biggest concerns is that this is the idea. This is the best. Our offensive brain trust has gotten together and said, okay, alternating these quarterbacks, and to me, I would say giving neither a chance to succeed is our best chance. And I don't think that's quality coaching.
Yeah, well, and again, we're not there every day in practice.
No.
We don't have access to the film room that they do, and the knowledge that they have on that. I would rather, if it were me, I would rather see Robbie Ashford's explosive capabilities in a pared down offense than I would see the rotation.
For all the talk about Robbie Ashford and what he gives us in the running game, Peyton Thorne has been the more successful rusher at quarterback. I mean, that's the bizarre thing.
The offense changes so much, right? Robbie Ashford doesn't get many chances to scramble. When he's in there, there's a lot of design runs. There's a lot of handoffs. But it's not a lot of scramble plays, which is where he can really, on a 3rd and 10, and we've seen Peyton Thorne do this up because he's not unathletic, right?
That's right.
But he's not Robbie Ashford. If Peyton Thorne can pick up 10 on a scramble play, that same play, maybe Ashford gives you 20.
We got to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. with the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
It's truck and SUV season at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. If you've been waiting to buy, the time is now to save big. Heavy discounts on Chevrolet and GMC 4x4s, crew cabs, loaded and lifted, gas or diesel, half tons to 1 tons. Loads of new and used models. Over 200 on the ground or on the way to Glenn Smith. Don't wait, call now. Get the best deal on your new truck or SUV at Glenn Smith in Opelika and get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you. About 45 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We are brought to you each and every day by Russell Do-It Center. They got 9 locations around central Alabama for all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Go and check out Russell Do-It Center today. Also, Central Alabama Community College, great place to get a great education, whether it's a 2-year technical degree or come and take care of your basics before you transfer to a 4-year institution. 4 campuses in Alexander City, Prattville, Talladega, and Childersburg. And finally, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation. For all of your needs, no job is too big, no job is too small. They will take care of commercial and residential. They are capable and willing to handle whatever your needs might be. J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, 334-531-0199. Give them a call today. David says, JJ, you were talking about the lack of production at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Enter Perry Thompson, Bryce Kane, and Malcolm Simmons, hopefully.
Yes.
And it would be nice to get Ryan Williams, too.
Look, those 3 receivers will help a lot. They're going to be freshmen, so, it's not like they're going to come in and,
Well, I think back to the early 2000s, and Auburn brought in Devin Arumashadu, Ben Obamanu, Anthony Mix, and Courtney Taylor.
Right.
4 guys. Now, Courtney Taylor was the year ahead, but he was a redshirt freshman. He didn't play his first year. So he was a redshirt freshman with all 3 of those guys who were true freshmen. And they went out to Southern California in 2002, and Arumashadu and Obamanu started.
Yep.
And, those guys, they came on in 2002, and they were all really good. And they were really good for Auburn for the next 2 or 3 years. And it really changed the way Auburn was able to throw the ball.
And look, if a freshman's the best you got, a freshman's the best you got, right?
Yeah.
You put them out there. And maybe this is part of the Harsin problem. And see if this makes sense. You're recruiting to Boise State, and you look at a certain type of player and you go, man, he's got some explosive capability. Well, that same player, if you're recruiting to Florida or Auburn or Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, you look at that player and go, he's not explosive enough for this league, right? So there is a difference.
Sure.
And the caliber of athlete that a coach has to recognize can play in this league. Obviously, that's one of the things that, you and I have always talked about this whenever there's a coaching search. I always kind of prioritize, I want some familiarity with the league, and recruiting to this league because it's a different animal.
Yeah.
And it's filled with different kinds of players. But I think all three of those guys will have an opportunity to start right away. Certainly Ryan Williams, if you sign him, he's day one starter.
Yeah.
I think it's and Perry Thompson. I don't know if he gets enough credit for how good he is, because I've watched some of his games down in Foley, and he's tremendous.
He is. He's a physical specimen for sure. Jim says, JJ, now other teams are stealing Auburn's signals from the sideline. That makes it tough to run plays when they know what's coming. Oh, wait, other teams don't already know what's coming. Robbie's in the game, they run. Thorne's in the game, they hand off for an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody is. Maybe there's some sign stealing going on. I don't know why you'd need to steal Auburn's signals at this point. It's a great point.
I don't think so. I mean, look, to some degree, I imagine there's always been some sign stealing going on to the extent that you can, right? Now,
yeah.
It's different if you've got
it's
a
being
whole
taken to a
system
new
set up for
level
it.
now,
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be something Michigan runs the table this year and the NCAA says, no postseason for you?
That could very well happen. If not, should happen. Mm-hmm. Keep attuned to that for sure. Freeze says OC Philip Montgomery is still Auburn's play caller. Notes that he was very involved when Auburn went 13 personnel, though. So Hugh Freeze has been dancing this little jig all year long. Philip Montgomery's the guy. He's the playmaker. He's the OC. But, I'll sneak in and call a few plays here, there, whatnot. It seems like you're looking at this right now from, down the line, and a lot can happen. Things happen, you can take a right turn, left turn, whatever. Philip Montgomery, to me, seems like he's going to end up a sacrificial lamb at some point.
Well, and you hate that for him because, you don't want anybody to be a scapegoat on the thing. But, and I'll say again now.
Does it have that feel to you?
I'm presuming a win this weekend.
Yeah.
Now, a loss could change this. But I'm going to say again what I've said for the last few weeks. As far as the teams they've beaten and the teams they've lost to, Auburn is exactly where I thought they would be. Nothing's changed. I still think they'll beat Mississippi State. I still think they'll beat Vanderbilt. I think they'll beat the Cream Puff. And I think they'll lose to Alabama. And that was what I thought at the beginning of the year. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Even games that I thought they would give Georgia a challenge. It's in Jordan-Hare, Georgia's first true road game. I thought Auburn would struggle at Cal because Cal's not a terrible football team, and it's a long road trip. So everything is kind of gone the way I sort of thought it would go. Nothing's different for me. And I'll be honest, I do not think the problem is play calling. I just don't. I don't think you switch it up right now and Freeze takes over 100% of the play. I don't think this offense, that's not going to make the receivers any better than they are.
Right.
It's not going to make the quarterbacks any better than they are. Or the offensive line any better than they are.
There is no magical cure.
There's not. No. It's called recruiting. That's the cure. And you can't do it in midseason. So, Auburn's going to finish, I think, in a bowl game, which they'll need because you want those additional practices. And that's a good thing.
Here's a little something to go along with that. And I don't know, maybe it'll happen at the end of this year, maybe it'll happen at the end of next year. But if Montgomery were to end up that way, a sacrificial lamb, 3 years, $3.45 million, he signed a contract, all guaranteed. So,
what would be the point? Let me ask you
regardless.
this, though, and we can continue it over the next break. Think about this, guys. You can comment on this. What would be the point of firing Philip Montgomery? It's Hugh Freeze's offense. I mean, he's, you know, whether he calls the plays or not. So it's not like you're going to go out and hire a guru to come bring a new offense in.
Same benefit Sam Pittman did for firing Dan Enos.
Yeah.
It gives you same reason Tupperville fired.
I just can't
Leo
believe there's
Mazzoni.
any pressure
No
at all
Mazzoni.
on Hugh Freeze in year 1.
Yeah.
Sam Pittman's in year 4.
That's about it.
It's a little different.
Up against another break. We'll be back with more right after this.
L&G Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dayville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you. About 30 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Give us a call, 256-234-6221. A lot of information coming out about the Auburn coaching staff. They're finalizing, or the contract information. Every assistant coach features a 100% buyout owed by Auburn if they are fired before the conclusion of the deal. However, every contract also features a mitigation clause where if they get another job, what Auburn would owe them would be lessened because of what they make, depending on what they make. That is except for Philip Montgomery, who will be paid the total of his contract regardless of if he gets another job or not. So Ron Roberts is going to be making $1.4 million this year. He signed a 3-year deal versus $4.5 million. Philip Montgomery making $1 million this year. He signed a 3-year deal. Cadillac's on a 3-year deal, making $900,000. He got a big raise from last year, and deservedly so. Zach Etheridge, $650,000 this year for 2 years. Wesley McGriff, $600,000 for 2 years. Jake Thornton, $500,000 for 2 years. Jeremy Garrett, the defensive line coach, making $510,000 this year. Josh Aldridge making $500,000 a year. And the two men low on the totem pole, Ben Agamawa and Marcus Davis, the tight end and wide receivers coach, making $425,000 this year. JJ, when the low man on the totem pole is making $425,000, life is good.
Oh, yeah, no question.
That's for sure. Freeze set to make $6.5 million this year in his first year in the SEC. Interesting, Ron Roberts and Philip Montgomery both have these automatic escalators in their contract. That started to be one of those things, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It started being factored into these. You get a guaranteed raise whether you – Philip Montgomery's going to get a guaranteed raise no matter how bad Auburn's offense sucks. How is that? How is that even logical?
Well, I think it's no different than, retention bonuses and things of that nature, right?
Yeah. What happened to you do a good job, you get a raise, or you do a bad job, you don't? Is that not?
I had a boss that used to. He talked about pricing, right? He said, "Well, what's something worth? It's worth whatever the market will bear. That's what it's worth. So you can't look at it and go, oh man, these coaches aren't worth that. Well, that's what the market will pay them. Therefore, they are worth it.
Right. All right, here we go. Bouncing around the SEC a little bit.
Or you could go out and just cut that payroll in half, hire a bunch of high school coaches to come in and coach and see how that goes.
That's true. Well, if you got Gulf Shores coaching staff, you'd be about right. All right, Tennessee and Alabama. Tennessee has a 20-7 lead at the half. Alabama comes roaring back, scores 27 unanswered.
Funniest comment
I didn't see that
weekend,
one coming.
Funniest comment of the weekend was Nick Saban talking about how much he enjoys coaching this team because they're very resilient and they're it's kind of fun to coach. He said, but they are taking years off my life.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know, man. I like I told you before, I don't know what to expect from this Alabama team, game to game, quarter to quarter, possession to possession. And you just kind of have to take it as it comes with this group. But I will say this. Kevin Steele's done a fantastic job getting the defense in order. And Jalen Milroe, like I said, the ceiling on him's way up here. And it's with him, can he find any consistency at all?
John says Auburn needs to leave Hugh Freeze alone or they will run off a good coach for sure, unless there's something else wrong that goes against standards of the university. Look, I will echo what Brett said yesterday. Look, there are always crazies out there that, things this year's not going well. Not that anybody thought that it was going to be a banner year, but, you get caught up in a 4-game losing streak and, if they do this or that or whatever, they need to fire. I don't care if Auburn loses out. I don't care if they win 3 games this year. firing Hugh Freeze is not even a remotely. If you think Auburn needs to fire Hugh Freeze, you're dumb.
I also think they need to lay off of him in terms of his coaching staff. If that's the coaching staff he wants, it's the coaching staff he gets, carrying it into the next year. There should not be. We knew this was a rebuilding deal. There should not be any pressure for wins, in my opinion, until year 3. I think you give him 2 years to kind of to right the ship a little bit, see how recruiting is going. And in the 3rd year, okay,
then you
now
let's
start the climb, right?
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. South Carolina, they fall to Missouri. Missouri just keeps on winning, John. 34-12, and Shane Beamer kicked the wall and broke his foot.
Broke his foot. Yeah, I saw that.
That was after the Florida game, but
yeah.
Hey, I mean, this all of a sudden, this Missouri-Georgia game is looking like, holy cow, that could be.
It could be.
That could be really important.
It could be, and it's with Georgia. They have a tendency to play with their food a little bit. They don't necessarily go out there and hammer people into the ground. So keep an eye on that. Because they could look up and Mizzou could be up 14 points.
That's true. A couple of Auburn's upcoming opponents. Mississippi State travels to Arkansas and wins 7-3
and
in a throwback game.
Offensive football was set back 20 years.
The Bulldogs 205 total yards.
Yeah.
The Razorbacks 200 total yards. Luke and I were talking about this last night. JJ, I don't think I've ever seen this before. Don't know if I've ever even heard of this before. I don't even know how it's possible. But KJ Jefferson completed 19 passes for 97 yards.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Less than 5 yards per completion.
A lot, yeah. That is difficult to do.
Yeah, that's.
But hey, it just Arkansas is what they are. What they are. I don't. They're not. They're just not a good team. And, of course, now Dan Enos has been fired.
I don't think either one of those teams are good football teams.
No, I would agree with that.
Actually, Dan Enos never should have been hired.
And he was hired at Arkansas for the 2nd time.
Yeah.
So you get what you get if you do something dumb like that. All right, we got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Lewis Lewis Pest Control is now serving Alexander City and the entire Lake Martin area. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, Lewis has environmentally safe products for all your pest control needs. Lewis Pest Control.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and JJ here with you. Just a couple more segments left in today's show, brought to you each and every day by Russell Do-It Center, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and Central Alabama Community College. LSU, they trounce Army 62-0. Is Jaden Daniels becoming the Heisman favorite?
He needs to be certainly top 3, I think, right now. You know, the way he's playing is just – now, he'll have a chance. If he goes to Tuscaloosa in 2 weeks, has a big game, and then they win, then I think he jumps right to the front of the line. I think he's right there at the front if that happens.
That could be very interesting for sure. Georgia, Florida, Vandy, Kentucky, and A&M were all off last week. Around the country, you know, Ohio State, I guess a big win over Penn State. Ohio State just, you know, I guess like most teams this year, there's just not – nobody looks – unbeatable by any means.
Michigan is starting to look that way.
But there may be a reason for that. At least we're finding out. They don't play anybody for sure.
Yeah.
Now they'll play. I think they have to play Penn State and they have to play Ohio State. Mm-hmm. So that should be. We'll see what happens. And
how about
we'll see
North
what
Carolina
happens.
dropping that one to Virginia, man?
That's all about Mac Brown and Gene Chizik. You combine those two guys together, you're gonna get a flop. At least once a year.
Yeah.
That was ugly, though. Ugly. And now Virginia goes to Miami this week. Could they pull a giant killer?
USC goes down to Utah for the 3rd time in a year.
And Utah playing a walk-on quarterback.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley, I mean, is the shine off of him now?
Well, I think the shine's a little bit off of him, yeah, because I think now people are going to go, okay, it's all cute. Ooh, look, we score 100 points, and can you win football games? Can you win big games?
Look, Steve Spurrier took the SEC by storm and ran up and down the field. Threw the ball up and down the field and the fun and gun, and it was all glorious. And then they never could win the big one. And they got obliterated by Nebraska. And he finally said, you know what? I need to play some defense.
Yeah.
And he went out and hired a young guy by the name of Bob Stoops.
Yep.
And they came in, and he played defense, and they won it all in '96. So if Lincoln Riley ever wants to do anything, he better figure out we got to play defense.
And this Caleb Williams stuff, is just getting weird. Because you hear stories that, and I don't know how true they are. You haven't heard him say it, right?
Right.
But you hear stories that apparently he's told me there's only 5 teams in the NFL that he'll play for. He's told people that, or supposedly, there's a story that he wants a percentage of ownership in the team that drafts him.
All right.
You know, is he the kind of player that would sit out the rest of the year? You know, he's not going to play the bowl game.
Right. I would. Well, I mean, at some point, I say this, it's probably not true, but in my mind, there's a line somewhere that NFL teams are just going to go, what, are you kidding?
Yeah. No, look, they want – I don't think any NFL team minds if you're playing in a second-tier bowl game and you're, you know, and especially at the quarterback position, and you sit that bowl game out. I don't think NFL teams will hold that against you, although I do think it can help you to agree to play in that game and then play well, right? I think it helped Bryce Young become the #1 pick to play in the bowl game last year and play well, right? Because it showed teams that, you know, that he's not just all about the money. There is something more to him. And so, you know, I think that may have been the difference that got him from being the #1 pick instead of the #2 pick, right? So, you know, there's positives and negatives, but this USC thing is just starting to look a little phony. You know what I mean?
Mm. See how it looks when they get in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
USC's going to the Big Ten.
Yeah, yeah.
Which will have about 16 or 18 teams, I think.
Yeah, well, but you've got some physical teams too, which is what gives USC trouble. That's why they can't beat Utah.
True.
Utah's physical.
Yeah.
And they don't like that style of play. They don't like physical football. No. So, and Lincoln Riley was that way in Oklahoma. If you got physical with them, they didn't like that. They wanted no part of it, right? So,
true.
You get over in the Big Ten, they could have some trouble there.
The NLCS Rangers, I'm talking about the ALCS, the Rangers defeat the Astros. They said this was the first time, I think, ever. Did I hear them say that the NLCS and ALCS teams, the visitor came in and won Game 6 and 7 in both leagues?
Huh.
I think they said it's the first time that's happened. So Diamondbacks win in Philly. Anybody but Philly. That was my
thing.
But you gonna pull for anybody? Diamondbacks?
Nah, not really.
I'm pulling for the Rangers. They've never won one. You know, I like the Diamondbacks, but they're fine. But I think I'll pull for the Rangers anyway. All right, World Series begins Friday, 7 o'clock on Fox. Don't go anywhere. One final segment of the Auburn Blitz is on the way right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Auburn Blitz on this Wednesday afternoon. Thanks so much for all of you out there being with us. Be sure to join us each and every day right here on your Spectrum cable dial, WAXC TV or WOTM. Or you can stream us however you choose to view your television. We are streamed on Roku and Fire Stick. You can go and download the WOTM app or check us out on YouTube or our Facebook page. Go and like those pages and subscribe. We would appreciate it. It is October the 25th, JJ, kind of a momentous day, really, in sports. 1964, on this day, Vikings defensive lineman Jim Marshall picked up a fumble and in a chaotic moment of the game ran the wrong way 66 yards for a safety. And of course this one, if you ever those, I don't even know if they still do those anymore, but they used to be NFL bloopers. They used to do that quite often. That was like the #1 blooper of all.
It was kind of a wide world of sports thing.
It
right?
really was.
See that a lot out there.
And I mean, he was a great player. I think he was a Hall of Famer.
Jim Marshall was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So I mean,
actually, that whole defensive line, I think.
Oh
is
yeah,
Hall of Famer. The
Purple People Eaters. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a little surprised this doesn't happen or hasn't happened more often.
Yeah.
You're getting, in the chaos of the moment, but I mean, 66 yards. Everybody's saying, Jim, turn around. He's just trucking it to the end zone, man. But all right, 1978 on this day, Gaylord Perry was named the National League Cy Young Award winner for the Padres, becoming, trivia question here, becoming the first pitcher to win the award in both leagues. He won it in 1972 with the Indians, the AL Cy Young. So there you go, Gaylord Perry, the first pitcher to win the Cy Young Award in both leagues. And on this day, 1986, I apologize for all you Red Sox fans, trailing 5-3 with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth and nobody on. The Mets rally to defeat the Boston Red Sox and win Game 6 in the World Series 6-5. Mookie Wilson with a little dribbler up the first base line, right by the glove of poor Bill Buckner, and Ray Knight scores from third. Wow. And history was never the same. But they got Mets, of course, go on to win game. People forget. I mean, a lot of people look back on that and they think, yeah, that cost them the world. No way. They came back and had to play a Game 7, and Boston had a lead in that one too.
Yeah.
And blew it. So it's not all on Buckner, but that was that's just one of those plays you look back and go, wow. Everybody always thinks, man, I'd love to be the hero, play professional sports. Well, you could also be the GOAT.
Yeah.
And that's never fun, for sure.
The GOAT used to be a bad thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true. Happy birthday today, Bobby Thompson. He hit the home run in 1951 NLCS. They go to the World Series. The Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant. That very famous home, the shot heard around the world is what they called it. Bobby Thompson, born on this day, 1923. Marion Ross.
Some mother or something on TV?
Miss Cunningham from
Happy
Days.
Happy Days, yeah.
Still getting it done. Born on
There
this,
was somebody's mom on TV.
1928 she was born. 95 years old.
Yeah.
Mrs. Cunningham. Bobby Collins, born on this day, 1933. He has the distinction of being the head coach of the SMU Mustangs when they got the death penalty. But never, I don't think he was he didn't start the whole thing. He just kind of got named the head coach when it was, they had gotten hammered, and they kind of brought him in, and he was just kind of there. And those last couple of years.
Have you ever watched the 30 for 30 on that?
Yeah, it was one of my favorites.
The most interesting thing about that whole deal was when everything was coming down, the number of high-profile head coaches that were walking around that campus recruiting players like, there's no program anymore. You're not violating any rules. You're just out there. And they had, video of it, right?
Like
I saw
Lou
Ray
Holtz.
Perkins walking by.
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
It's
true. That was crazy. That was just a bizarre time. But, of course, the SMU gets the death penalty. They don't play for a couple of years. Bobby Knight, the great Bobby Knight.
One of the great all-time coaches, yeah.
Won 3 championships with Indiana. Born on this day, 1940. I think he's suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia or something now. Dan Issel, another Hall of Famer in the NBA.
Yep.
Dave Cowens as well. How about who we got there? John who?
John Matusak.
Oh, John Matusak.
If you ever needed somebody to play a really crazy football player on television
That's
or a
true.
movie, Matusak was your guy.
And he was Sloth from the Goonies.
Yeah.
John Matusak got in a fight with Dirty Dick Slater, the wrestler.
Yeah.
And Dick Slater roughed him up something awful. And Matusak said, I never thought another man could throw me around like that. They became good friends till the day he died.
Okay.
How about that? How about Mike Eruzione?
From the Miracle on Ice?
Miracle on Ice, 1980 hockey team. Pedro Martinez, born on this day, 1971. He's for a guy that's 5'0", 160 pounds, he could bring it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that All-Star game he started, and he struck out 3 Hall of Famers to start the game and was throwing about 100 miles an hour to begin with. It was pretty impressive. Katy Perry, born on this day.
Yeah.
One of the few people that's ever gotten the best of Lee Corso on game day.
Yeah.
When she was at Ole Miss. I don't know why she was there for Ole Miss.
I don't either. She also
There's some connection, I guess.
She also apparently that night after the game spent a good bit of time partying in Oxford. There's video, Yeah.
And Ciara.
Don't know who that
married to Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay. All right.
She's a singer.
Singer? Okay.
Yeah. And there you go. 1990 something. Nobody cares. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. He's JJ. I'm Andy. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.